Welcome back to another episode. I am Sticks. This is my best friend and co-host D-Lo, and we are Too Complex. We coming at y'all with a little bit different this week because of the Memorial Day weekend, so we want to get some content out for y'all. But before we get into the episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and make sure you press that notification bell so you don't miss none of these bangers that we drop every single week. But D-Lo, I know, and we back, my boy. Episode 27. Episode 27.
Yes, sir.
But as we do every single week, man, I know it's a short week, and I know pretty much know what you're gonna say. But maybe you can talk about your your weekend that you got planned. But how was your week, boy?
Week was good, man. Still recuperating kind of from the weekend that we had previously. We're going to that wedding, like I mentioned last week. Great wedding. Recapping that wedding with the people that were involved, the two that were, married. It was a great weekend. So just kind of recuperating from that, just spending time with the family. This weekend, obviously, is Memorial Day weekend, going to go back home to Fayetteville and chill with the family. Our high school coach is getting inducted to the High School Hall of Fame.
Right.
So we'll be attending that as well. And, a couple teammates have already hit me up talking about going to that. And then tonight, the wife and the daughter are going to see Little Mermaid. So, just, all around, it's going to be a great weekend. I may go to our class reunion. I don't know yet. But, all around, I think it's going to be a good weekend, to recharge and get ready for next week. What about you? What you got going on? How was your week last weekend? Or how was your week last week?
This past week, man, was good. Same thing, man. Just making sure I spend time with Sam. I got the coding class that I'm going through right now, which is going very, very well. Just waiting on my mentor in the class to approve one of my assignments so I can move on to the next step. Finish the first step of this class in the first 2 weeks, which was supposed to, within 2 weeks, which was supposed to take me a month. So I finished it within 2 weeks. So that's good on my part. So I'm on
a
pace
mission
to finish. Man on a mission, dog. I'm on pace to finish it within my goal of September. It's supposed to take 10 months. I'm trying to finish it in 6 or 7. So I'm cool with that. Again, just like Delon said, it's Memorial Day weekend this weekend. I wish I was in.
Stop calling me Delon on here too, man. My name is
my fault. My fault, man. You know what? You right, dog. You right, dog. Nah. Just like D-Lo said, it's Memorial Day weekend. And I wish I was home for the weekend because my family does have a couple of things planned, and I do wanted to go to the induction ceremony for Coach Butts, man. Congratulations to him if he ever sees this. Of course, I'm there in spirit. I am there in spirit, my boy, my dog. Yeah. But if you get a chance, man, if you get close to Coach Butts, man, hit a FaceTime so I can tell him congratulations. If you can, listen, I don't know if he's gonna be able to.
Yeah, you know how he is. he loves seeing us, so it ain't gonna be if I can get close. I definitely will be closer if I have time with everybody else trying to tug on him as well. But I definitely will if I get a chance to.
Yeah, and it's the 20th anniversary this weekend of class of 2003 at E.E. Smith.
Stop dating us, bruh. You just
I don't give a damn, bruh. You see this? You see this?
Yeah.
I don't care. They know. They know.
Listen,
they know.
If you listening out there,
like Shawty Low, they know.
Yeah, they know. If you're listening out there, I'm pointing to my chin hairs right now. I'm close to having a streak going down. I'm gonna look like a professor here soon, a dignified professor.
I'm close to having a whole beard of gray, so we don't even worry about it. Yeah. But as far as that's concerned, good luck with that, bro. Because I had no plans.
Yeah.
I had no plans on making that, but the weekend is gonna be fun for both of us, I believe, man. Just me spending time with Sam, going to see Little Mermaid, and just kind of chilling out, man. Just making sure that she's happy. That's all I really care about. That's the reason why I am here. As long as she's happy, we good.
100%.
As long as she's happy, we good, man.
Yeah. I wish she was here though. I also did not have plans on going, but a couple of individuals have hit me up, and I won't go to any of the events per se, the official events, but I'll go check out some of the friends. And I'm not supposed to be in Fayetteville until later on in the afternoon tomorrow, so I'll miss most of it anyway. But yeah. So moving on, man, starting out the podcast once again, 2 weeks in a row, we are mourning the loss of one of our icons. We're mourning the loss today of Tina Turner, who passed away on Wednesday. She passed away on Wednesday. Yeah, at the age of 87. Sticks, What you guys say about that? How you feel about that?
Hey man, another star gone, man. She actually passed away at the age of 83.
Oh, 83. Oh, Jim Brown was
83. Yeah,
87.
Jim
My
Brown
fault.
was 87.
Damn.
Yeah, all good, all good.
Yeah.
But she was a cultural icon and was deemed the queen of rock and roll whenever she was making music, man. And there was a lot of celebrities mourning her loss on social media, just recalling the great times that they had with Tina Turner. But she was amazing. I mean, she was in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She actually was inducted twice. One with her duo with her late husband Ike, and also by herself. So she's a 2-time Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, which is amazing. And of course, everybody knows that one song. What's Love Got to Do with It?
You feel me?
That was
well,
her
that's
number
not
one
the only
hit.
one.
Well, I know, but everybody knows that one, of course. And that was rolling on the river. Yeah, everybody know that one too. But that was her number one hit that scored her first number one hit, and she was the oldest female artist to do it at the age of 44. So she was a cultural icon, man. Another angel that's taken to a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And she was fighting an illness, from what I know. They didn't say what the illness was. I don't know if you found it or not, but I didn't see anything that said what it was.
Yeah. No, I did not. Did not find out what illness it was, but did know she was sick, or did see that she was sick. Things that come to mind when thinking about Tina Turner is a strong woman.
Strong black woman.
What comes to mind when I think of her? Obviously, icon, as you mentioned, 2-time Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee. Everybody always makes jokes about the relationship that her and Ike Turner have, especially since the movie that depicted her life came out, portrayed by Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne. So everybody makes fun of that, but to be in that situation, to continue to have the I want to say gumption, but that's not the word I'm looking for. To have the perseverance.
I was about to say that.
Perseverance to overcome all of that and still have the relationship she had with Ike and make music together, and then separate from that and then make great music again. It is just it's an accomplishment and a half. 2 times accomplishment, obviously. So, strong woman. My heart goes out to her family and all of the fans that are mourning her loss today, or this week. Like I said last week, legends never die. And again, she's a legend. Her star will shine on forever. She's forever immortalized because of the music that she made, because of the impact that she made on the culture, on Black culture.
100%.
So, again, condolences go to the Turner family. One thing I did not know, which was, when you start researching people and find out stuff about them, one thing I didn't know is that she was Swiss. Her mother is Swiss. I did not know that.
I didn't know that until I was researching too. It says which Swiss artist. I was like, Swiss? I thought she was Black. Like, but she, of course, she is in the Black culture. But yeah, she's definitely Swiss. Yeah,
right. And she actually passed away in Zurich, Switzerland too, if I said that right. So,
Zurich, yeah, you said it correctly.
Yeah, so that's like I said, it's things that you find out about people when you think people, especially celebrities. We think we know everything there is to know about them, and then you find little nuggets that blows your mind, and that really blew my mind. I didn't know she was part Swiss. So
yeah, that's super dope, man. Again, our condolences go out to the Turner family. Rest in peace to an icon, to a legend, to a beautiful, beautiful Black woman. And like D-Lo said, I keep saying, like D-Lo said, your star will shine forever. Your star will definitely shine forever. But to the next thing, man. So what's going on with Apple being able to record your voice and be able to mimic your voice through AI technology within 15 minutes? For what I see, what's going on with Apple, dog?
Yeah, man. So Apple is trying to. Let's get right to what the actual reasoning for this is. So Apple is trying to help those that are afflicted, so to speak, or struggling with. I forgot what it was that they were struggling with. The intention for the struggle was, but they're coming out with a feature with the next iOS release where within 15 minutes, as you said, they'll be able to mimic your voice, and then you can replace that with Siri. So the feature is called Personal Voice, and you have to enable it. And when you enable it, you just give the learning. It's machine learning. You give that feature 15 minutes of samples of different phrases that you say, and then after those 15 minutes, it will take some time to configure into the actual device that you're using to configure it properly. And then, the next day you wake up, you'll be able to say, "Hey Siri," I believe, or "Hey whatever, give me the weather in my current location," and you will hear your voice repeat it back to you in the same type of inflections that you have, and so on and so forth. This is getting scary out here, man. Because Apple already has your fingerprint.
I'm telling you,
got your facial scan. If you have the Apple Watch, they got your vitals. You know what I mean? And now they're gonna have your voice. Pretty soon they're gonna be able to clone, whole individuals based off of.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah. What you think about that?
Man, it is crazy. I had the same thought process you had, because I know when we talked about it earlier in the week, you was like, "Yeah, they could do this." I was like, "Bro, what the heck? Like, they got everything about us now." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's scary how technology and AI is fast growing, dude. It's like you got a whole AI. If you talk about just voice itself, AI has a whole album called AI Drake on YouTube.
100%.
And it's actually kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually kind of fire. But just getting back to the topic, just like D'Lo said, man, they're gonna be able to like clone whole individuals here soon, especially through all the technology that Apple has with the watch, with your facial recognition, your voice recognition, your fingerprint. Now it's getting so crazy. And I know we talked about this a couple of times as far as AI. And in the first episode that we talked about AI, I said that eventually it's going to get to a point where it's going to be like, what am I going to do? Like, they're going to eventually take over, and it's going to be like no jobs out here for us as individuals, as the human race. And it's getting scary to the point where it's like, are we getting closer to that with this kind of technology? Because I can literally have a AI clone, a robot clone of myself, go to a job and sound like me, have all of my DNA and everything, and I can just sit back at the crib. And you know what's crazy? Now that I think about it, I just had a light bulb. What would it cost for me to do that? Because if I just want to sit in the crib, facts. If I just want to sit in the crib and I would just want to have my AI clone go out there and do all my stuff for me, how much is this clone gonna cost? How much is this robot gonna cost for me to have this robot at the crib that can drive a car, obviously, that can sound like me, talk like me, look like me, have skin grafted fingerprints that can do everything I need to do, and that'll be and what's even crazier, I had another trickle down thought is, say for instance, this I go out and do a crime, I can just blame it on the AI. That was just me being silly. But
no. I know that both of those thoughts that you had are valid thoughts, and there are companies out there that are racing to make that creation. When we think about AI, the first thing that comes to my mind is movies, iRobot. So people think about the robots looking like that. No, they want robots to look like us, like physically look like us, so that you cannot tell no difference. And then if they can't have them look like us, they want to create technology that will, we can incorporate with our bodies, and we basically become cyborgs. After this voice that Apple is talking about, it was just passed by the FDA that Elon Musk and Neuralink can be tested on humans. So, I mean, we're slowly moving into us being incorporated with artificial intelligence, with these machines, to become one. I think that's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is not to have us to be replaced unless they can completely do it. It's still going to cost. It'll cost a lot of money, but the real plan is for us to be one with technology. That way we can extend our work work range that we can work from. We can be more efficient. We can do this and that, whatever the case is. They want us to be slaves for as long as they can have us be slaves. And the easy thought process would be, oh, well, they just create a machine for that. Well, we've already seen that. You talked about this a couple weeks ago. A machine, because they can think way faster than we can, if you give them a process to do, they'll think through that process and complete that process over and over and over. But then they'll get to a point where, basically they'll just fall over and no longer work. But humans, We need to have a purpose. We need to have money to take care of ourselves. We need to, have oneness with those that are around us. So the ultimate goal, and I'll just repeat this and I'll leave it alone at that, is to have us be one with the technology. That way we can continue to do all of that stuff. And move forward. But yeah, man, it's getting crazy out here. All of those thoughts that you just had about AI and what is the possibilities,
it's so crazy, dude. It's so crazy, man. And I can see it happening. Like, I ain't gonna say super duper soon, but it's moving so fast that it's like it's something that's going to be inevitable before we know it, because it's weird, bro. It's so weird, and it's a scary thing to think about, because we talked about it last episode. The last time we talked about AI in episode, I think it was episode 24 or 25.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It was episode 24, 25, but we talked about it. It's going to be scary, because they can eventually, if they do just have these AI cyborgs or these robots out here, they're so smart and they think so quick that they can eventually just wipe us out. Eventually, so it's one of those things where it's just a scary thing to think about, man. And it's moving fast. AI is moving super fast, dude.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, but obviously Apple isn't the only one that's, doing stuff like this. You have the various Android companies with the same type of data. I talked to you earlier this week about a website where I showed you a bunch of information. So, I mean, our information is all over the place, and some of us know that it's out there and some of us don't. But these companies are just taking advantage of all the data that we're putting online. And that's where the AI is coming from. That's where, they're feeding that into the machines that are the AI. And that's where we're getting so many realistic results, because they're using actual information that we created and inputting it into the machines. So a full conspiracy theory, and I'm admitting that this is a full conspiracy theory. I think in the maybe 10 years from now, we'll see the AIs coming along, and we won't have anything to do when it comes to a purpose in life. We will have what you said. We'll have a machine or robot that looks like us, walks like us, talks like us, has our voice inflection, has our mannerisms, all that stuff, performing tasks for us. Now, will it be government funded, or will it be private funded, or will we have to pay for it? I don't know. I think it'll be a mixed bag of that. But, with all of this stuff that's going on right now, I can see in how fast technology is moving right now, and presumably will only get faster as we move along. I can definitely see your thought patterns, your vision coming into fruition in the next 10 years.
I'm telling you, man, by 2033, we're going to have robots walking the earth, dog.
Yeah. I mean, they're already walking the earth, but looking like us would be different. Yeah. Well, the real question is, are you knowing all of this, are you getting rid of your Apple products or any other products that you currently own that give your information?
Nah, because a lot of the times whenever they're asking for whenever an app asks me for tracking, do you want this app to track your, I'll be like, nope, don't allow most of the time. But I know as far as the watch and the face camera, you can turn that off. You can disable that if you want to and just have a PIN number if you want. But I gave my face now, so it's to the point now where it's like, all right, whatever. Full pause. Full pause. Yeah. I mean, it has all the information it has now, so it's like whatever. But I'm not giving up none of my products. I mean, but 10 years from now, we're gonna see all the information that we gave all of this technology and all these devices come to light.
100%.
We're gonna see it. So that's just gonna be what it is. But something else that I saw, D-Lo, let's talk about TikTok, bro. Let's talk about TikTok and how these pranks are going crazy, dude. To the point where it's dangerous and people are getting either hurt or arrested. Because I know you saw the one where old boy walked into the house, just trespassing, just walking into the house, just a random couple's house with kids in the house, and frightened this young lady and her husband to death. because they just doing some trespassing trend or trespassing prank that's been going viral on TikTok, bro. Like, what's going on with these pranks on social media, bro?
What did I tell you 2 weeks ago when we covered the content creator who purposefully crashed the plane? When does it stop? How much of a shock value are content creators going to go for now? Because there are so many other content creators out there that are producing similar content. Somebody has to stand out. Somebody has to, somebody's going to go as far as they can and to get that shock value. It's crazy. So we move from, in a span of, realistically it was a year, but in this news wise, media wise, a span of 2 weeks, we moved from purposefully crashing the plane to basically doing a home invasion and a carjacking and stealing property, just that fast. Now I'm sure this has been going on for quite some time, but for at least for a couple of months or so. But this individual that we're talking about over in the UK, it was arrested and it's been plastered all over the media. My thoughts are, I'm not surprised, as I'm really not surprised about much that goes on in this world now. But I'm not surprised by this, but a message has to be sent, whether, somebody is that message, or a group of people are that message, if you know what I mean. A message has to be sent. And until then, it's going to continue to the elevation of the type of pranks that happen are going to continue to happen. The thing that kind of got me though about this particular individual is he recently released a video, and in that video he says, "You guys are on social media giving me what I want. You're commenting on these videos, engaging. It's making," he said, "tings." It's
because he's from the UK. That's how they talk. That's how they talk.
I know. It's making my ting blow up. And then once he finished that, his friend came on, and his friend is saying, was saying that he said, you are reinforcing the narrative of the message that we're trying to say. It's a movement, bro. What is the movement? Because if this
what the movement is,
this is a full-blown movement, I need to know what it is so I can keep my kids out of that. I was about to,
but you know what the movement is, though. You know what the movement is. What did Joe Budden say? Content over everything. Everything is, everybody wants to have that one moment that goes viral, bro. Everybody wants to be the next viral sensation. Right. It's content over everything. And the crazier part about that is he released that video, but did you know he went on Piers Morgan too?
Yeah, I saw that.
And was playing the race card and talking about how, talking about how people are so worried about sitting behind the camera, so worried about what he's doing and how he's scaring these people, and how these trends and these pranks are demeaning these folks. Bro, like, you sound dumb. And it got nothing to do with your skin color. Nothing. And everything that everybody's saying behind the camera that you're saying, like, why are people so worried now? They won't. If you weren't so worried, we wouldn't do this. But why are you coming out of your mouth, or why are you putting in the effort to do these things in the first place? Because he's done way more pranks than just this. He's decided to riot at a mall. He was doing like a leapfrog prank where he was just leapfrogging over random people. Like, he's done a lot. His name is Mizzy, but he's been banned from TikTok. He's been banned from a lot of social medias because of this last thing that he did, the trespassing prank. But Siri might talk to you. Get off my bro. But see, AI. Look at AI.
When the update comes, you're gonna hear your voice.
But he's done a lot of different pranks, man, and everybody wants to be the next viral sensation. It's content over everything. They want to sit back and be rich just by doing absolutely nothing. And the things that they're doing are crazy. I mean, it's not that they're doing nothing, but it's like what they're doing is exciting fear in a lot of different communities. Because there was a lot of different pranks. Like, have you seen the pranks where people go and putting buggers on people's head in different department stores and stuff like that? Have you seen those pranks?
Putting what?
Like, so it was a prank where this young lady actually had a seizure and had to go to the hospital. Was in the hospital for like a week because she had a seizure. But it's people doing like a bucket pranks, and what they do is they go into like Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart,
yeah. I've seen that. Yes,
and they put a bucket over somebody's head and run away real fast, and then take their jacket off and then walk back past the person. And it's funny when they don't realize who it was, so to speak.
right. Yeah,
but it's like that's a lot. I feel like. I can't even say that. I was going to say something really stupid. I feel like that's more innocent than trespassing in somebody's house. But at the same time, that can be somebody who had a bad day or is having a bad life or maybe depressed or something like that you're doing this to, and you can get severely hurt by doing things like this.
Yeah.
And there was one guy who in Virginia who was doing the prank in Dulles Mall in Virginia and got shot.
Yeah.
So it's like you're doing these pranks and you're exciting fear amongst these people in the community because they don't know the prank is going on. I remember back in the day whenever pranks used to be super heavy on YouTube, but it was like innocent pranks. Like it wasn't like nothing like what people are going to the lengths of doing now.
Yeah,
and it's it's getting to a point where, like we said, man, it's COE, bro. Content over everything. Everybody wants to blow up fast. So that way they can just keep making people. The main job that all the kids want to have now is content creator. That's the number one job. If you ask any kid in the world, really, but definitely in the United States, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a content creator. That's the number one job all the kids want today. And it's content over everything, bro. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like to some regard, we can't judge them too much or judge content creators in general too much because we're in that space as well.
We're in that space too.
While our genre is a bit different, we're in the podcast space, the prank space, it ranges in wide variety of different pranks that people do. People specialize in. It's not a prank. Well, it is a prank, but it's not really a prank. You have the gold digger prank. You have all types of mess with people types of pranks. So you mentioned putting a bucket over people's heads in Home Depot or in Walmart, Target, stuff like that. You have people walking up saying whatever to a person and then, saying it's a joke, it's a joke, it's a joke. I don't know what that particular genre is, but then, you just have these different type of pranks. And then, you also have your feel good content creators, those people that create skits, and do stuff like that.
You're Mr. Beast of the world type of people.
Right. Yeah. You're Mr. Beast and those type of individuals. So, I mean, I feel like we can't judge him too much or judge content creators too much. They're doing pretty much what everybody's doing when it comes to content creator. It's just those, that small few that go beyond what they, the social contract of what's right and what's wrong. And to try to get that shock value. And I don't know how you stop it other than, implementing laws, but by implementing laws, then you create more of a situation to where a more tragic situation can come out of it. But I mean, like I said, an example is going to have to be made in some form or fashion, whether that is, as you talked about earlier, a notable content creator that's in the prank space. I don't want to really say it, but something not so good happening to them by hands of the person that they pranked, or a whole boatload of them getting arrested and put in jail for, doing stuff that I don't know what the answer is. I don't really want either of those because, like I said, they are creating content, but a message has to be sent in some way to let them understand, like, this is not acceptable.
Very, very true, man. And it's getting to a point where it's getting dangerous. It's getting very, very dangerous. People are putting their lives in jeopardy for content. Like, you don't know who you might walk up on and say something, just like the line said, you say something random to somebody, are you good? And people look at you like, what you mean am I good? And you get beat up. Or just like the dude Mizzy that we were just talking about, who did the trespassing prank. He was walking up on people saying, you want to die? What do you mean? Like, what you gonna do? Like, I'm gonna square up too. If it was me, I'm gonna square up on you too. Like, and we might fight because I'm not asking no questions. You just threaten my life, bro. Right. What do you mean? And the laws in the UK are so that they're not strict at all. They're so lenient that all he's getting is like slaps on the wrist for all of these things that he's doing, because he's been arrested a couple of times. And it was one time he got arrested that he was about to get let go, but for the content, he asked lady to arrest him and take him into the precinct. Like, just for the content. He wasn't being held or anything like that. He just wanted to make it seem like he got arrested for the content.
Yeah.
So it's like it's getting dangerous, bro.
It's the attention aspect of
it.
It.
Bro.
He said it in his statement that he made, and his boy mentioned it. You know, as far as whatever this movement is, and you said it's content over everything. You know, if we're currently talking about it right now, right? And let's say the podcast starts to blow up, even bigger than what it is starting to blow up, and people come back to this episode, they hear this segment, they're gonna want to know who we're talking about. They're going to go to his content if they can find it. You know, YouTube has banned it, TikTok has banned his page as well. But if they can find it, they're going to go find it, and then they're going to engage with it. They're going to watch 100%. It. If it's something that they like, potentially they'll comment on it, or if it's something that they think is stupid, they'll comment on it. That gets him attention. It really is not up to us per se. We're the ones that give him the attention, but the attention or these type of content creators, but the attention that they are looking for is the attention of the brands that offer them money. So I don't think these type of pranks get the attention from major brands. Now, if there is a brand out there if there is a brand out there that is, you know, sponsoring these type of pranks, then they need to do a little bit of soul searching as a company and figuring out what message they're trying to convey to our youth.
100%.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy, man. And I mean, like you said, somebody's gonna have to be made an example out of, and hopefully it doesn't get to a point where that example is somebody, you know, losing their life, because one dude almost did in Virginia. But something's gonna have to happen, man.
I mean,
attention is a hell of a drug, bro. Attention is a hell of a drug, dude.
We've seen it, but we've also seen. You said somebody's going to have to lose their life. We have seen multiple pranksters lose their life. I can't name them off the top of my head, but I have seen a couple of headlines in the last 2-3 years where such and such YouTube star performing a prank dies because of XYZ. So I mean, it has been, but they haven't been like anybody like, you know, there's levels to everything, and so you have your different tiers, and it hasn't been a top tier prankster that has had that situation happen to them. I think it just takes one, and I pray that it doesn't happen, but I'm just for the sake of this conversation, I think it just takes one to that message to be conveyed, and it's like, all right, yeah, we better chill out.
Yeah, we got to chill out. Yeah,
because if this person can lose their life because of this, we definitely could lose our life.
Who's to say we couldn't too? That's true. Exactly. That's true. So, yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, Ja, back in the news, man.
Back in the news again, bro. For a different reason this time.
There's a different reason this time. So the police visited Ja's home this week to do a wellness check on him because of cryptic IG posts that he was making. Sticks, what you think about the police checking up on Ja and this whole situation that we're now in because of Ja? And I hate saying he's trying to be a gangster. Because of the bad decisions that Ja has made.
And I put it as the title of our video this past week, man, as Ja Morant is the most wannabe gangster superstar the world has ever seen. But this is a different type of tone that we're talking about Ja today, because this has more so to do with like his mental health, and we've talked about mental health a few times on this channel. And Ja is no exception to the things that he's going through that could be messing with his mental health. He's no exception. So I'm praying for Ja Morant, because the things that he's doing and the people that are around him, because I say he has a lot of yes man and a lot of bad influence around him last week when we talked about Ja. And I think I think his world right now is coming in around him, so to speak. And he doesn't know what to do. He knows that he's a role model, and he knows that he should be that role model for these kids out here that love him, so he can keep his endorsement, so he can be the best basketball player that he can be. But he's also trying to appeal to that small circle of friends that he has around him that want him to go out there and throw money and be in the strip clubs and listen to the gangster rap and flash the guns and be able to bear arms, which he has the right to do. Right. But it's one of those things where he doesn't know which way to go, and I think he's a confused kid right now. Mm-hmm. And since a lot of things are happening to him and he's being talked about negatively in the media, and he has this negative persona around him right now, that he doesn't know which way to go. And Ja, he just needs to just sit back and analyze things and say, okay, what is most important to me, and how can I go about reaching that goal? Because right now, dude is lost, dog. And he was those cryptic tweets. I saw the tweets. I follow him on Instagram. I saw the story, not the tweets, but the Instagram story. I saw the Instagram story, and I was like, "What is Ja talking about?" And at the end of it was 4 posts. At the end, he said bye, and I'm like, "What, Ja? What's good with you? Like, are you like I'm sitting here like I don't know you personally, but I feel like I need to reach out, my boy. Like, are you straight? Because those are things that people say whenever they're on the road to self-deletion. Because he shot out his sister, his mom, his dad, his daughter, and then he says bye. I'm just like, bro, like, what's good with you? And I just think he needs to find himself, man. Like, he literally needs. He said he went to rehab for that week. I don't believe he did, honestly. Me personally, this is just my opinion. Just going to preface that way. This is my opinion. Yeah. I don't think he actually went to rehab. I just think he took time away. You know, and which is cool. He took time to reflect, came back, balled out in the playoffs, and then went back to the same job that he was before rehab. Mm-hmm. He just needs to actually just sit back and reflect, bro, and just kind of figure out exactly what he needs to do to be the best version of himself. Because right now, as we see through this story post and his actions, he's not the best version of himself right now. So you just need to figure that out. What you feel about Ja, bro?
I mean, so as far as the police going to check on him, I can understand why, especially with the climate that we in with mental health all over, not just America, you know, all over the globe, people are having mental breakdowns and having issues with their self-worth. Mm-hmm. So I can understand the police going to check on him. But in the same breath, I have an issue with the police going to check on him because Ja has a history, obviously, of being around guns, and we've seen this play out many times where the police go to check on something or do a routine stop or whatever, and it turns violent for whatever reason. So, and this is not to throw mud on the police or any officers of the law or anything like that. It's just what we've seen. It's facts. And it's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It goes across all spectrums. We've seen these types of occurrences happen, and then it just turns bad. So I would rather a therapist have gone to see Ja, accompanied by the police, but led by the therapist, or if the police have to go, then the therapist is tagging along and they're telling the police what to say to Ja, right, to gauge his mental health currently. Because I mean, if anybody is going to be at the brink of a mental breakdown, it would more than likely be Ja Morant. He's been inflated to be this huge basketball player, making ton of money. Now all of a sudden you make one mistake, you lose $39 million. You make another mistake, the same mistake, but you make it again. Most of your endorsements, if not all, are taken away from you. You have the media talking about you. Everybody in the barbershop conversations will talk about you. Online, they're talking about you. Your inflation, you're now feeling a little bit deflated. So if anybody is on the brink of a mental breakdown, it could more than likely be Ja Morant. And so I would rather, in instances like this where the police were doing a good thing here, but I would rather have seen a therapist go see Ja than the police to go see Ja.
See, what I do know about wellness checks is that if somebody is concerned about an individual, they will call 911 and say, "Hey, I want to perform a wellness check on this person." Right. And the only person that goes there is the police. But now they would be accompanied by a medical professional or like a like it's like a therapist, something like that, if they already had a therapist assigned to them, like they were already going through therapy classes and things of that nature. So that therapist would accompany the police department to perform that wellness check, because they are technically their legal doctor at that point. And they have client doctor privilege or whatever. I don't think I'm saying that right, but you know what I mean.
No, you're right.
Yeah. So that's when. But I'm pretty sure that, and like I said, it's just my opinion, Ja didn't go through no therapy session, no rehab, nothing like that. So I don't think he has a therapist assigned to him, which is why the police were accompanied by themselves. And like you said, they're doing a good thing. We're just history most times repeats itself. And over the past decade, there's been a lot of police brutality against, the Black community. And that's what the line is referring to. We don't want it to go left because we've seen it happen routinely over the past decade. So we don't want that that's something that we're worried about as a podcast, as a community. Right. But
and I also, not to cut you off, but let me get this in real quick. And it's also that statement that I was making. Again, when I said it, I was not saying just a particularly Black thing, although we know that Blacks are killed by police more often statistically than whites when it comes to police interactions. But I was saying it across the whole spectrum, and this was not pertaining strictly to Ja, because more than likely, they're going to make sure that they do everything to the book with handling Ja because of who Ja is.
Of course,
but in similar situations of somebody where they're going to do a wellness check that's not well known, and they have a history or been on the books for having guns around them, it could be completely different situation.
Completely different.
So that's all I was saying. Yeah.
And I didn't mean to misinterpret your words or speak for you. I was just kind of adding my 2 cents to what you said. But he just needs to sit back and reflect on what he's got going on and just look at what he has to lose. Because in the situations that he's putting himself in, that he's putting himself in, he's really the only person that has something to lose. His friends are along for the ride, bro. They're along for the ride. They got Ja Morant, this $233 million man, which he won't be 233 anymore, but
still making good money.
Still making good money. He's still in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
And they're just along for the ride with their homeboy Ja Morant. And he needs to evaluate himself and reevaluate his circle, because something in there is throwing him off kilter. And he needs to make sure he brings that balance back, because as of right now, Ja is, just like D-Lo said, if it's anybody in the world right now that's on the verge of a mental breakdown, it's Ja, because he has so much of a negative stigma around him right now because of his right to bear arms. He has the right to do that. Right. But because of who he is, we as a community, as the media, as the world, feel like Ja shouldn't be around that. And it's just the persona that he's putting off that's looked in the negative light. It ain't got nothing to do with him bearing the arms for real. Because I was listening to First Take the other day, and JJ Redick had a really good point as far as defending Ja Morant and his right to bear arms, because you can be pissed off at Ja Morant for him bearing arms and being in these lives with these guns because of who he is. But we got congressmen out here taking pictures with AKs. So who's really in the wrong? Because we really have like a war on guns right now, where it's like you have the right to bear arms, you can do these things, but certain communities are looked at in a negative light because they have guns, and Ja is in that community. So it's like, what is he to do? Like he thinks he's doing absolutely nothing wrong, but the media perceives him in a certain way, so they feel like he shouldn't be doing this. So it's like, I mean, I kind of feel bad for Ja, because he's just being the 23-year-old kid that he is, but he got to understand that he has much more to lose than your normal person, bro. Like even those congressmen, he's making more money than them congressmen, bar none, 100%. So you have more to lose. Yeah.
And in the same breath, he has more of an impact to the youth than those congressmen. Now, those congressmen are the one with the pens. They're the one that sign in laws and stuff like that. So ultimately, for the grand scheme of things, they make more of an impact. But to the youth that watch sports and those individuals that are diehard fans, Ja Morant has more of an impact. So you might have congressmen taking pictures with guns, but they also have a base that they are responsible to that are for guns. And then, as you said, the perception of Ja Morant and the culture that he's a part of, and that type of, and having a gun is like, yeah, you don't need you. We need to get him up out of here.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. So I'm praying for Ja. You know, I really hope that he really gets it together, because he's a phenomenal basketball player. He's a phenomenal personality within the community, and like you said, he has such a influence on the young community now that he needs to be shining a little bit of a brighter light. Now, do I blame Ja for having the guns? Of course not. Absolutely not. But with his persona and what he portrays and what he means to his community, he's got to clean it up a little bit. And he needs to sit back and reevaluate so that way he can get it together.
Yeah. And before we wrap this portion up, I have a question, and then I also have a statement.
What up?
Well, a statement, then a question. Luckily, after the wellness check, it was determined that, everything is fine with Ja. He's just, quote unquote, taking a break from social media. So luckily, that was the only thing that came out of this. Hopefully, we don't hear anything crazy. I also don't think Ja is the type that will be mentally unstable, but I could be wrong. People put up great facades all the time. We've talked about it multiple times on this channel with the different mental health issues that we discuss. So we're, like you said, praying for Ja. Hopefully, it is just him, announcing his break from social media, and it's nothing deeper than that. To go a little bit deeper and to make this topic a little bit more complex, do you think that we'll see more individuals use mental health as a scapegoat to not take accountability for the things that they do? And again, not saying that that is what Ja is doing, but when you look at this mental health aspect and this situation as a whole, it could be seen as Ja is trying to take the mental health route to not take himself accountability, not hold himself accountable for his actions, even though he said multiple times that he takes full responsibility for his actions. But can you see more individuals doing this down the line? Because I think I do, and that's the unfortunate part about it, is when something is out there, as people being sensitive to it, people being more understanding, inevitably somebody will take advantage of that.
Right. I mean, unfortunately, I can see it, but I would hope that, moving forward, people are a little bit more smart and understand what mental health means to the community, because you can, it's like the boy that cried wolf. If you do something bad and you blame it on mental health and you keep doing it, the people who actually need the help or who are actually going through mental health issues are looked at a little bit less, and they don't get the help that they need because so many people have cried wolf so many times.
Right.
And so I would hope that the people wouldn't do that. I would think they would be smart enough as a community. We would be smart enough as a community not to. But I can see it happening, because it's one of those things where a lot of the world, a lot of the nation is looking more into people's mental health, especially men in general, because it needs to be focused on, because mental health is so impactful. It's something that needs to be studied, and it's something that needs to be talked about, because it's huge. We need to make sure that everybody is okay, but at the same time, if you're blaming things on mental health because you don't want to take accountability for your actions, that's hurting people that actually need the help. So let's not do that. But I can see it happening. I can definitely see it happening.
I definitely could see it happening, and I would hope that we don't see it. But like I said, people find ways to take others' kindness for weakness, and use that against them. So I don't know. But I fully expect for that to happen, for somebody to use mental health as a scapegoat. But hey, we can only report what we see and discuss it. And if it happens, we'll talk about it here on Too Complex.
100%. So like we always do, D-Lo, we find a way to get our boy LeBron on the channel. It seems like every episode,
it was easy this time.
It was real easy this time, but it feel like every episode we talk about Bron. Now, LeBron is what you think he retired? What you think about LeBron retiring, bro?
Well, first off, I'm gonna say this: as much as we talk about LeBron, we've never had a segment dedicated to LeBron. So
100%. No, we have.
When?
The PED. Remember the PEDs?
Oh, okay. You're right.
Yeah. That was only one, but we've had 27 episodes now. This is number 27.
And maybe 24 of them.
100. I swear to God, he finds a way. I swear.
Various fashions. But to answer your question, hell no, I don't think LeBron's going to retire. Why would we think LeBron's going to retire? I'm going to ask you this question. Did he get a farewell tour? No.
Nope.
Right? He didn't get a farewell tour.
Didn't get a farewell tour, correct.
Did he, other than like game 2 and 3 of the Western Conference Finals, did he look like his game deteriorated so much that we're begging him to retire?
No.
LeBron James is not going to retire. And, as we've said, we love LeBron, but I know LeBron. Not know him personally, but I know how he thinks. I think I do anyway. Mm-hmm. This is a way for him to control the narrative of what happened to him in the Western Conference Finals. Or this is a way for him to control the narrative so that he can get who he wants on the Los Angeles Lakers for next year. So
I like where you went with that.
So by him saying, I got a lot to think about, but not specifically saying I'm going to retire, what do reporters always do? Oh, wait a minute. You got a lot to think about. Is LeBron James going to retire? And so now it becomes a big media news, like so much so that we don't even talk about how bad the Denver Nuggets beat the Los Angeles Lakers
at all.
We talk about, is LeBron James going to retire? Who's coming back to the Los Angeles Lakers next year? Who's not coming back? And who can we get? Maybe Kyrie is coming to the Los Angeles Lakers next year. Mm-hmm. It's LeBron controlling the narrative. And, he went to LA for a multitude of reasons. Most people say he went to LA to become even more so a big businessman. And he has all of these media. He has a media company himself. Mm-hmm. He's been in movies. He's now officially a billionaire.
Yep.
I mean, he has every reason not to come back next year.
Yeah.
But LeBron James, 100% in my mind, will be back next year. He's not even contemplating retiring. If you ask me, what you think?
So I'm with you. I don't believe I'm gonna put in a percentage for you. I'm about 75-25. He's not retiring. Mm-hmm. That 25% to me is about Bronny. So if he was to retire, I don't think he is. Let me put it out there. I don't think he is retiring at all. But if he was to retire, Bronny just signed with USC. So he's going to college next year to play that 1 year. I'm pretty sure he's going to be one and done. So he's going to college next. I think he's going to be one and done. I feel like even if he would have to play severely bad not to come back for a sophomore year. And the reason why I say that is because he's one of the more highly anticipated people to come into the NBA just because of the narrative about him playing with LeBron. Somebody's going to draft Bronny. Somebody's going to draft Bronny. And they know that if they draft Bronny, they also get LeBron.
Right.
So
depending on how he plays this year.
Depending on how he plays. Exactly. It depends on how Bronny plays this year.
Or going by you or what you were trying to say before I cut you off. I'll let you
finish.
Good.
No, you're good. Finish your point.
Or if he takes this year off to play with. That's why I didn't want to say it.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I was getting to. No, you're good. He alluded to my point. LeBron, the only reason why LeBron would, the 25% is LeBron is going to take a year off to get his body back together, train, work on his craft. So that way, whenever Bronny does come into the league in the 2024-25 season, that he is on his tip-top game to play alongside of his son. That is the only reason I can see LeBron retiring. This is to take a year off and then come out of retirement like Jordan. So that's the only thing I can say. But he is legit. The 75% it's just like D'Lo said. He's controlling the narrative so that when we're not talking about how bad Denver played, because they beat the brakes off of them in that sweep. The brakes off of the Lakers in that sweep. Yeah. And then I know some of the game where every game was honestly close. I don't even think either team. I don't think the Nuggets beat them by 10 or more points. If I can be mistaken, but I don't think they beat them by 10 or more points in either game. Did they?
I think
they were all within 10 or less.
Game 3 or game 4, it was 10 or less, but it was like 9. Yeah. So I mean, they damn beat them by 10, but no, you're right.
But it was a few of those games, they were up 15, 20 points at some point, and then of course the Lakers just made a run. But of course the NBA is a game of runs, so that is what it is. But we're not talking about how bad the Nuggets beat up on the Lakers in that series and that sweep. We're not talking about Joker maybe deserving an MVP, a third straight, like we talked about a few episodes back. We're not talking about anything about the series. We're not even talking about the Nuggets going to their first NBA Finals. We're not talking about it because LeBron has a lot to think about, and now the media is in a frenzy. Like, oh, what is he doing? What's going on? Is he going to retire? Who's going to come? Like, they're the media eats all of that up. But the most important story here is that the Nuggets are going to the finals. But we're talking about LeBron, who just got kicked out of the playoffs. Yeah. So it's definitely LeBron saying, okay, I'm going to control this narrative. We're not going to talk about me losing because everybody they talk about me losing every single day anyway.
All the time.
The haters gonna talk about me losing regardless. I'm not gonna have the mainstream media talk about me losing. I'm gonna control this narrative so that way I can see exactly where this is gonna go. So is he retiring? Do I think he's retiring? No, I don't at all. But I do believe that if he does, is to keep himself together, to get his body back right, and to get his game right, to play with his son in the 2023-24-25 season. So nah, I don't think he's retiring.
Yeah. All right, but okay, so let's look at the other side. What if he does retire? What does that mean for the NBA?
I don't think it means shit, honestly, because I know he's coming back. To be perfectly honest with you, because he has that goal of playing with Bronny. So if he retires this year, it's gonna be like, okay, he's taking a break.
But what if he did? So hypothetically, let's take what we think out of it right now and say,
hypothetically
speaking, LeBron is to retire this summer, going into the 2024 season. What does that mean for the NBA?
We now need to look at who is the new superstar of the league, because LeBron is the face right now. So who is going to be the face for this one season? Who's going to be the face for this one season? And I think, to be perfectly honest with you, it's two people in my mind. That's the face of the league right now. Okay, that would be Steph, and that would be Jokic. That would be the face.
Giannis?
Nah. He's not. Giannis isn't as big of a. To me, he's a superstar, but he's not as big of a superstar as a Jokic or a Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, I could see.
Yeah.
Jokic, like we've said before watching this series,
so ugly.
Before we said watching this series, he's blossomed, right? And he's not well known of a superstar. Like, everybody knows who Jokic is because he's won those 2 MVPs. But actually sitting down and watching him play, you'd be hard pressed to find a person outside of Denver, outside of people that are not casual basketball fans, to say, oh yeah, Nikola Jokic, the face of the league. Nobody's saying that.
Very true. Very true.
They'll say Steph Curry for sure.
For sure.
They'll say they may even throw in Luka.
May throw in Luka. Yeah.
They may throw in even though he's been bounced the last couple years in the playoffs.
Joel Embiid.
No, Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, okay.
And then,
but I don't think Kevin Durant is such a such a villain. Kevin Durant is such a villain in the league, though. Like, he's played upon as a villain so much that I don't think he could actually be the face of the NBA.
And you're helping to make my point, because most of NBA fans will say LeBron is the main villain of the league, because
but how could LeBron ever be a villain, though? Explain that to me.
Well, because they'll say he started all of this teaming up and super teams and all this.
He did it though. But we know that. But since LeBron is who he is, you're right. Okay.
That's the narrative. How much it's, to me, LeBron has made a lot of people money.
He has,
because everybody is always talking about LeBron. And so the narrative is, how much help does LeBron need? LeBron is the villain of the league. I don't care what you say. I don't care what anybody say. He's the villain of the league.
How can you be the villain and the superhero at the same time?
Ask LeBron. I mean, okay, put it this way: if he's not the villain, he's the most polarizing player in the league.
100%. I can agree with. Yeah, I don't think he's the villain though. I think KD is more of a villain in the league than LeBron is.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I think the hate for LeBron comes with the GOAT conversation. I think the hate for KD comes from everything that he's done as far as his burner accounts on his social media burner accounts, him teaming up with Steph and hasn't done anything past Steph since then. It's like he hasn't done anything before Steph, hasn't done anything after Steph. Like he's more of a villain as far as that narrative is concerned as a villain than LeBron is. LeBron is definitely the most polarizing 100% though, but KD's definitely more of a villain in that sense.
Okay. Well, to answer my question, I think what it means for the league is we will see how much LeBron in his time in the NBA, more so in the latter part of his career, meant to the NBA. The NBA, as far as talent-wise, will not be hurting.
No, at all.
There's plenty of talent in the NBA, but as far as storylines, as far as just things to talk about on an ongoing basis, I'm interested to see who the media puts as that person, because you can talk about Skip Bayless and those type of individuals will find something to talk about LeBron for in the off season, not during basketball season. Now, and if he does retire, again, we said he's not, but if he does retire, it'll be funny to see who they put into that position now that they talk about 24/7. So I think the league and fans will see, and the media industry will see how much he meant to the league. Because like I said, he's made plenty of people money just because he's such a, I won't say controversial, but again, he's such a polarizing person as far as the NBA is concerned or basketball is concerned, that just it's like, oh yeah, let's talk about LeBron. They'll watch it.
Exactly. So I mean, nah, LeBron ain't retiring, but just D'Lo definitely alluded to it. We're gonna see exactly what it means for the NBA and what he actually meant to the NBA and how he changed the game so much, and what people in the media are gonna be able to talk about if LeBron is not there. You're gonna see exactly what it means to a couple of teams in the NBA. Is Kyrie gonna come to the Lakers? What does it mean for the Lakers if they don't have LeBron? Does AD stay? It's gonna be a lot of different things that's gonna happen if he is to retire. But is he going to? I don't think so.
Definitely not.
Hell
definitely
not. He ain't going nowhere. Yeah, LeBron ain't going. That man right there.
I don't even know why we're talking about that. Yeah.
That man.
LeBron James.
LeBron James. That boy ain't going nowhere. Yeah. I don't think he is.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Nah. He'll have surgery this summer. He'll probably miss a little time at the beginning of the season. Yeah. Again, you gotta talk both ways about LeBron, because you have people that believe he was hurt and you have people that don't believe he was hurt. So I'll say, if he was actually hurt, he'll get surgery on his foot, and then he'll come back in midway through the beginning of the season. I think he was hurt, maybe not to the.
I think he was too.
The degree that everybody, or the torn ligament in his foot, but I think he was hurt.
The torn fascia that people will talk about, but he'll be back though. Don't worry about it. Don't worry, 100%. NBA fans, LeBron fans, don't worry about it. He'll be back. He'll be back. Don't worry about it.
Back. All right, my boy Sticks, episode 27.
27. Finito.
Yes, sir. This has been a good episode, I think. Short and sweet, to the point. We talked about what we wanted to talk about. Got to do a segment on LeBron. Got to hash it out about where content creation is going. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we revisit some of these topics down the line, because they'll continue to pop up. Somebody will do something more shocking. LeBron may retire. The Ja Morant saga continues with something else that comes up. But we'll see. I thought it was a good episode. But yeah, this has been.
It was too.
Yep. Yeah. This has been Too Complex. We hope you enjoyed today's show. You can find us on all of your major podcast streaming services. Make sure that you like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of those episodes. You can also follow us on all of our social media platforms at Too Complex Pod on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And remember, if it ain't too complex, it ain't complex at all. With that, we appreciate your support. And until next time, salute.
Salute.